Hello, second grade Smarties, and welcome to iReady Math Lesson 16, video number 3. So, you know how I tell you guys it's okay to make mistakes, right? And good learners do hard things, and good learners learn from their mistakes. Well, Miss Mason made quite the mistake yesterday teaching you. So yesterday, it talked about centimeters. And Miss Mason, using the knowledge that I thought I had told you that these little lines between each inch were centimeters. Friends, Miss Mason was wrong. I know, your teacher can be wrong sometimes. I know. Okay, so these are not centimeters. These little lines are not centimeters. You guys see that? Those are not centimeters. I'm going to show you a real ruler. Ooh, clear, beautiful. Okay, these are inches, right? Do you guys see that? If I flip it over, we have centimeters. Centimeters are shorter than inches, but they are not the little lines on the inch side. Okay, so one side of my ruler shows inches, and when I flip it, the other side shows centimeters. So Miss Mason made a mistake, and that happens sometimes, but I wanted to tell you guys before we start diving in with centimeters. So my Smarties in my virtual class, I will be delivering some resources to you that measure inches, centimeters, and some non-standard measuring tools, okay? But for today, because we do not have a way to measure centimeters, we're going to use our pinky, okay? So this is a cube, and if I lay it down, it is 1 centimeter long. So if I line up my pinky with my cube, it's about 1 centimeter. So we are going to use our pinky to measure centimeters today, okay? So we can use back-to-back pinkies when we are measuring centimeters today, okay? So I just wanted to let you know that I made a mistake and I don't want it to hurt your learning. So my Smarties, you will be getting centimeter cubes to you very soon, okay? And rulers with inches and centimeters. All right, let's look at page 158. Number 14 says, Macy lined up 1 centimeter tiles along a strip of paper. She marked the end of each tile. Write numbers on the blanks to finish making the ruler. Okay, so remember, when we've talked about rulers, we start by marking. You guys see that? We start by marking 0 inches. 0. So let's finish the ruler. So on these blue lines is where we are going to write our centimeters. So we start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so that ruler is 10 centimeters long. All right, let's look at 15. It says Ty and Lynn each made a ruler. Okay, our first ruler has inches 0 through 9, and Lynn's has 0 through 9. Look really closely at those rulers. Think about what we've talked about with measuring. When we measure, we have to use the same size of measurement, right? The same length. I want you to circle which ruler was made correctly. Which ruler was made correctly? The one on top or the one on bottom? All right. So Lynn's ruler was marked correctly. How do you know that Lynn's ruler was marked correctly? Why was hers correct? Why was her ruler correct, Smarties? Why was the top one not correct? Look at 5 and 6. Inches 5 and 6. What do you notice? They're too close together. So in Lynn's, the spaces were the same. So the spaces were the same. Okay, so in that top one, between inches 5 and 6, the spaces were not the same distance. They were not the same length. So when we are measuring, we have to be exact. We have to start at 0, and our spaces have to be the same size every time. All right, let's look at 16. It says, Tony says the crayon is 8 centimeters long. What did Tony do wrong? All right, Smarties. So he measured the crayon and he says it's 8 centimeters long. Let's count the centimeter cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the crayon is really 7 centimeters long. What did Tony do wrong? What did he not start with? He didn't start at the 0. So we could say Tony did not start measuring in the right place. Measuring. And measuring is a trick word, Smarties. In the right place. So remember, when we are measuring with a ruler, we have to start at that 0, because that 0 to 1, that is 1 inch. 1 inch does not just start at the number 1. 0 to 1 is 1 inch. So when we are measuring anything, we line it up with that 0. All right, let's look at 17 on page 159. It says, for this task, you will need 1-inch tiles and 1 centimeter tiles. All right, so we have cutouts of those 1-inch tiles. So we are going to be creating our own ruler. So I am going to show you what this needs to look like. Okay, so when we are measuring, we are going to start at that 0. Okay, and I'm going to stand up for this. We're starting at 0, and when we measure, we are going to line up the tile with that 0. Do you see that, Smarties? All right, and once I have that 0, I am going to make a line. Okay, so 0 to 1 inch. So now I have 1 inch. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line up my cube with my 1 inch mark. And on the other side, I'm going to mark an inch. Now I've measured 2 inches. Okay, so I want you to do the exact same thing. Remember to be precise, back to back with those tiles. So I am just using 1 tile to measure. So let's go ahead and finish measuring. All right, and I am trying to be precise. All right, so how long was our ruler? How many inches long was your ruler? So I'm going to show you mine. How many inches long was my ruler? Where did I end at? 6 inches. So I would say my ruler is 6 inches. 6 inches long. All right, this next one's going to be tricky because we do not have centimeter tiles. watch how we are going to solve this. I'm going to stand up again. Okay, so this is kind of tricky, guys. So I'm going to line up the tip of my pinky. Do you see how I did that? It's kind of hard, guys. All right, so the tip of my pinky, and I'm going to mark from one end of my pinky to the other end of my pinky. Okay, and guys, this is an estimate. This means it is not exact. You guys do not have the right tools yet, so we are going to estimate with our pinky. Okay, so 1 centimeter is about that long. Do you see how it's shorter than 1 inch? Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to line up my pinky. Smarties, do you guys see how silly this is? All right, my pinky. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, pinky to pinky. All right, so everyone might have a different answer. And for this one, guys, that's okay. I just want you to be as exact as you can be. And this is going to take a little while. Okay. This is kind of fun though, isn't it? We're using our fingers to measure. Crazy. Think about it, guys. A long time ago, there weren't rulers. People had to come up with these units of measurement. It's crazy to think about our past, where we've come from. Think about what the future might look like with measuring. It might be the same. It might be different. You just never know. All right, so now I'm going to count how many centimeters I have. All right. And if you need to pause the video and finish counting your centimeters, go ahead and do that, Smarties. That is okay. All right. So in my ruler with centimeters, how many pinkies lengths did I use? What's that last number right there? Do you guys see that? 14 centimeters. Was yours also 14 centimeters? If it isn't, that's okay. My Smarties, you guys are going to be getting tools very soon. Ooh, Miss Mason's pen's being silly. All right. Centimeters. All right. And we are actually going to skip part C for this part, okay? Because I want us to make sure that when we are explaining, we are using the exact tools. Math and science requires exact measuring, okay? So we use our pinkies, the tops of our pinkies, to help us measure centimeters today. When you get your tools, you are going to have cubes. Now we think of this as a ones cube, but this one is 1 centimeter long. So Smarties, measuring has to be very precise, and we have to have a growth mindset. Sometimes we're going to make mistakes and we're going to have to do it again, and that's okay. All right, Smarties, that is it for video 3. If you are one of my Smarties, make sure to send a picture of your completed work in Seesaw, and don't forget to send pictures of your practice pages as well. All right, Smarties, I will see you very soon with another measuring lesson. Keep that growth mindset. You are an amazing learner, and happy measuring.